Hey, I'm Deidre Detterman, host of the Do It My Way podcast, where we empower women business owners and CEOs to do business on their terms with no regrets, hesitation, or fear. I'm obsessed with all things marketing. I started my career in television, and I remember sitting in countless meetings, listening to executives talk about things that needed to change, but they never did. I was always thinking, what if we did it my way? Once I became an entrepreneur and I started living life on my terms, working the hours I want to work, making the money I want to make, I started to feel success. I was finally in control of my destiny. I hope you will join me on this journey discovering how you can do it your way. Our next guest, Christy Lindsay of Cedar Lily, she's going to teach you how to look great, feel great, and be extraordinary just with your clothing. You're going to love it. Christy, I'm so excited to have you here today.
Thank you. I am really happy to be here.
Okay, so I have to tell a story about when I first met you. And I don't even know if you remember this, but we were at OSU and you're a couple years older than me and you were teaching aerobics at the Colvin. And I was a freshman and I used to always go to the Colvin Center to take aerobics. And I just remember the cute blonde coyote that teaches aerobics. Like, that's how I knew you, which isn't that funny?
Yes.
So funny. And then I run into you at Cedar and Lily. So I come in the store because there's all the hype in Jenks and I live out that way that, you know, this big high-end boutique is coming to Jenks. And I walked in there and I was like, wait, I know her. She's the aerobics girl from OSU, which is, you know, so fun. But I am so proud of you. And now, you know, I've been honored to work with you for the last couple of years and watch you grow with this business. And it's just been so much fun to watch.
It's been a lot of fun. And I'm so happy to have you because we are very like-minded.
Yes.
And that helps.
We laugh because, you know, the cut straight to the chase. I think that's my personality. That's your personality. And it's worked out very well.
Yeah. You can't get offended because it's just, we don't have a whole lot of time to get offended about anything. So you just kind of have to just take it and run with it.
That's right. Well, I want you to share because I think it's so interesting that you've been over 30 years as a medical sales rep, Hall of Fame winner at your company, like top salesperson in the country.
Thank you.
And you decided to become an entrepreneur. So share that story with us because I'm really fascinated by that.
Well, so I became an empty nester with my hubby, and I am a worker bee, and I just knew because I was so hyper engaged with my kids' lives, and I knew that I was going to want something else. And so I really started with Becky Frank at Schnocky Turnbow. So she was kind of like that coach, that life coach for me. And I have a philanthropic heart, and I really wanted to engage in philanthropy. And initially, I thought I wanted to do a nonprofit. So we just started talking and going through, and I did the Berkman, and the Berkman was such an interesting thing to do because it was like, well, here's the perfect job for you. You need to be in the medical industry. You need to be in sales. But it also had like management and events and PR, which PR was my degree. And what was your degree in?
PR.
Okay, that's what I thought. I remember you from that too. And it was like I was in my zone, and I felt like there was more that I could do. And I wanted to give back, and I wanted to create a legacy. And I just wanted to do more. And I wanted to use my brain in a different way because, you know, in med sales, I love it so much. I mean, that's why I still do it, is because I love it. I love my surgeons, and I love selling heart valves, and Edwards is the most amazing company on the planet. I've been there for 22 years. I mean, it does not get any better than them. And it's just been such a great ride. So anyway, I knew that I wanted to use that creative side of my brain, and I wanted to create something. And so she and I started working through this, and then I started taking classes at OSU. I was going to get a graduate certificate in entrepreneurship. So then I started that journey, and the first class was, I can't remember.
Is it How to Build a Business in 100 Days?
That wasn't the first one. The first one was like creativity and how ideas become reality. And it took you through all these brain teasers, and there's a really great book called it's called Thinker Choice. And it takes you through all of these like brainstorming exercises. And it was a fabulous class. You had to blog, and I loved to write. I mean, I was, journalism, and it was just really fun. So then we went from that class, and then I took the How to Launch a Business in 100 Days. And then the professor, Dr. Behringer, is that his name? And he was really, really good. And I literally took that book. I started with chapter 1 and I was like, okay, chapter 1, da, 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 da. And I followed it all the way through. And because you've got to learn about it, right? You can't just say, oh, I want to do a business. And, I'm just going to pull it out. I'm just going to wing it. And you have to have some structure. So it helped me because I'm not a details girl. I'm a big picture visionary girl. And I realize my weaknesses and my strengths. And so that was not one of them. So I needed a guidebook, right? And he proved to be somebody I could call and ask questions to. And it also showed, when I did that Berkman, it showed me that I really shouldn't be doing a nonprofit. So it was like, how am I going to merge these two businesses? And when I first started that class, it wasn't like I said, oh, I think I'm going to start a business right now.
Right.
But when I started going through it and I realized I had to pick a business, and I didn't know that, I had to actually pick a business I was going to do. So then I said, okay, well, if I'm not going to do a nonprofit, what am I going to do? And so then it was like, well, I love to shop, and I love, I really wanted to be around like-minded women. And I don't know. And I thought, you know what? We need another really great shopping venue. And then a friend of mine said, well, why don't you go and look at the 10 District downtown Jenks? And so I called Shay and Brian, and they own Freeform, and they're fabulous people. And they were like, well, let me introduce you to Josh McFarland, who owns Red Dog Construction, another absolutely amazing person. And he and Mark Tedford, state representative, they own a building together. So when I first talked to him, I literally am still trying to just fulfill a class. And then he said, and then when I continued talking to him, I'm like, I don't want anybody else to have this. That building's mine. I was like, I want to be in that space. I want to be right there. And it just exploded. Everything fell into place. And I kept praying about it. I'm like, God, if you don't want me to do this, please close the door. Close the door, because I have no idea what I'm doing right now. And the doors it was like, it sucked me in. It was like a vacuum. So anyway, I just followed the book, and I asked people along the way, and here I am.
I mean, what a great case study for OSU. They need to know. They need to hear this story.
I know.
Don't you wonder how many people took that class that actually took action and started their business and did their thing? I mean,
I don't know.
I'd
love to just sit down with him. I really would. I think, and even talk with the class and tell him, okay, this book, because I think when you're in college, you're like, okay, I got to read a book. Oh my God. And you just don't want to do it. And you don't really think it's a guidebook.
Right.
You don't see it like that. I mean, in college, it's just a means to an end, right? And it really was truly what cooked me through it.
That's amazing. Okay, so Cedar and Lily is not your typical high-end boutique.
No.
Talk through, I know, your tagline, look great, feel great, be extraordinary. What does that mean?
Well, so because of the philanthropic piece, because I wanted to engage people in nonprofits, and I thought, okay, I want to do things with a variety of different nonprofits. I want to host events. I want to engage with these organizations and connect women of means with these organizations, because a lot of people, there's so many amazing nonprofits in Tulsa and Jenks surrounding areas. There's so many. And a lot of times people want to connect, but they don't know how, or they don't know where, or they don't understand what these different nonprofits do. So I wanted to be a little bit of a catalyst, right? And so anyway, when I was creating Cedar and Lily, it was like, how do you do that? And so Denise, who works with me, she was like, Christy, and we were struggling with the design because Jenks was a long space. It wasn't a big wide square. And it was like, okay, we needed a break room type thing. And so we kept brainstorming. She's like, Christy, why don't we just make the kitchen open? You're going to be doing events. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's brilliant. Which really also, you've got to lean in on all these people that know more than you. You have to surround yourself with people that have skill sets you don't to create that magic team, right? Teamwork makes the dream work. It's the oldest saying in the world, and it is so critical. And it just blossomed. And then there was an outdoor space, so this could be a patio, and it just culminated into this. I said, let's make it more like a big living room or like your best friend's closet. And it just became what it is. I mean, I have a tree. When you first walk into Cedar and Lily, both locations, there's a huge tree that has all these blossoms on it. So the trees we live out in the country, and so the trees came off our land. So we cut them down and took all the leaves off, and then
I've seen you crawling on the ladder up there, putting the little
I know, and
flowers.
then bought all these the blossoms and stuff. I bought all the faux flowers from Amazon.
It's gorgeous.
And zip tied them on to create. It was just trying to create this wonderful aesthetic. So when you walk in, it's like you want all your senses, hit. You want it to smell good. So we have aromatherapy. You want it to look good. You want it to be comfortable. You want lots of texture. And I mean, anyway, it is definitely different.
It's absolutely gorgeous. There's nothing out there like it that I've walked into. And I think if you think about the kitchen as the heart of the home,
yes,
everybody hangs around the kitchen.
Yes.
And that's what I love about Cedar and Lily. You go and everybody hangs around the kitchen.
Right.
You have a glass of wine, a glass of champagne. You're just chatting with other women.
Yes.
Yeah, right. You guys are making cookies and, you know, and oh, by the way, I'm going to find a really great outfit.
Yes.
So it's the combination of that. And, you have to have an X factor in business. And I think that is an X factor.
Yes.
You're creating community, not only just shopping, and every girl loves to shop, right? And wants to feel beautiful, but it's connection.
Right. So I guess back to your point, it's like that look great, feel great, be extraordinary. When you look great, then you feel great about yourself, and then confidence instills action, and you can do extraordinary things. If you do not feel good about yourself and you don't like the skin that you're in, and I'm not saying...
We all have those days.
Exactly. And I'm not saying that if you're not beautiful, you can't be successful. That's not what I'm saying. Everybody's beautiful. You just have to realize that beauty lies inside of you. And, you ever meet someone that you're like, that person is so attractive, and they just glow, and you don't really know what it is about them that draws you to them? Part of that is confidence. I also think part of that is spiritual, but that's a different discussion. But part of that is confidence. And when you feel confident and you know your place on this planet and you know what you're designed to do, then people want to be connected to that.
That's right.
And I think that I wanted to play a role in that with different women, because that's the other thing about this business that's been so amazing. The women that walk in that door have just been incredible. I have met, just like I'm involved with nonprofits now that I'd never really even thought about, like Circle of Red with American Heart Association. I should have been involved because I sell heart valves. I should have been involved in that so long ago. And now I'm involved in it. And now, I'm going to be involved in a little bit of a more meaningful way in this next year. But we're talking about, screening and all of these great brainstorming conversations that would have never been possible had I not had Cedar and Lily and been connected to them. Mm-hmm. Kim Owens, who is a dear friend now, and we do a Bible study with them. I would have never, ever known her or been engaged with that, and our families connected. It's just been such a blessing all the way around, and things that I never even dreamed.
Right.
Because of Cedar and Lily.
So let's talk about Cedar Society, because I think we're talking community,
right? A
community of women.
Yes.
And you definitely feel like that. You walk in there, like I remember trying on a dress, and I had the OSU Hall of Fame awards, and I was like, okay, I've got to find like a formal. And I'm in there, and there's 3 or 4 people working there, and they're like, everyone's being my cheerleader, coaching me along. This is what you should wear, making you feel just really great. And then people that don't work there, they're shopping and they stop and they help.
That's right.
And it really has created a community. So talk about Cedar Society and what that's all about.
Okay. And I also want to talk a little bit about teamwork, because what you experienced is because of the amazing women that we brought in, right? Because all of these women that have created Cedar and Lily, I had no idea when I hired all these women that we were all meant to be together. Almost makes you teary. But every woman that's there is there for a reason in their life. And it's just... we have just created this bond, and we don't do like individual commission. It's team, because at the end of the day, it's about all of us, and it's about every one of us. And you feel that when you walk in. And that's why all these women, number one, everybody loves each other, and we've created an amazing team. And my manager, Dory, is just like, she's a volleyball coach. I was just talking to her this morning. I mean, she used to be a volleyball coach. She owned a business with her husband. She helped me raise my kids. I mean, she's just this jack of all trades. And she is an amazing leader. And she with me has helped create this incredible team, and that's what you feel when you walk in the door. So anyway, that's a really important differentiating factor because
it's culture.
It's culture, and you create it, and everybody, we don't talk about each other, we don't gossip, we embrace. It's different, but as a result of that, you feel that, and the customer feels that when they come in. It's fun. It's a fun place to be. And Cedar Society is basically, if you are a top customer and you hit a certain level of spend, it represents about the top 10, 12% of our overall customer base. And it's not hard to hit that. And if you're a frequent customer at Cedar and Lily, you're going to hit it. And then you're part of Cedar Society. In Cedar Society, we have different monthly events. Sometimes we skip a few months based on time of year. But we do a lot of fun, different things.
And like Mardi Gras is coming up.
Yes, like we have Fat Tuesday coming up in February. We do Spend to Win, and there's discounts for Cedar Society. And we're also going to start doing some different series. Like I'm going to do like a martinis in menopause, and have some different, like a nutritionist come in. And so we're going to create some different events that really matter to the women that come in the door. And so it's fun, and it creates this community. So you came to our house in June. So at the end of the year, we did this. It was like the Cedar Society members that really were instrumental in helping me grow the business, that were just there all the time. I invited them all to come to our house, and my husband and I cooked for them.
Yes, that was amazing. What an amazing night. And your backyard is just absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
It was the perfect night to be there. But just to have all those women kind of together and, and for a common bond, number one, everyone looked fabulous. Like everyone had Cedar Lily dresses on. So everyone looked really fabulous. But also it's kind of the same type of women that want to give back, that care about the community. And it really was special.
Well, and it was so cool. I had people there till 12:30, and women that I didn't know, and there were friendships that were formed. And my oldest, Savannah, she does all my social media, and she works Cedar and Lily. And then Gracie at the time was doing an internship. She's still in college at OU, and so it was just like we were all hanging out. And I had some customers there, and we were sitting in front of the fireplace. It wasn't on because it was June, but it was just so fun. And I just looked around to see all these women and think, God, this is such a cool thing. It was really special.
I think also during COVID, everything was shut down. People were shopping online. But now you kind of see the wave of people going back to brick and mortar. They want to walk into a store. They want to meet a friend. They want a Cedar Society that they can go hang out with. That connection is really important.
Yes.
So I think you hit the market at the right time, as well.
Yeah. And I really think, I've been thinking a lot about that because people still shop online. And I think that the largest challenge with a clothier or boutique owner is online. It's not each other. It's online. And I feel like...
Meaning competition.
Yes, competition.
Your competition's online.
I mean, there's lots of really great boutiques online and the boutiques in town, and the women are amazing there. The owners are incredible. And I think that regardless of where you shop, try to do it. I mean, think about all the stuff you return. Mm-hmm. And it's a pain in the butt, or you spend money because it sits in your closet. You don't return it in time. And if you would just take the time to invest in your community in that way, no matter what it is, I don't care if you're a man or whatever. If you are ordering at your local boutique, your local store, those tax dollars fund the homeless initiative. Mm-hmm. Those tax dollars help with mental health. They fund the different organizations that really give back to our community. Tulsa is a great philanthropic city, and we do so much for our community, but those tax dollars allow us to do everything we've ever dreamed of. And I think that if people were to just, even if everyone in the community said, okay, I'm going to shop 15 or 20% less online, and I'm going to give it back to my community and shop local, it would transform communities.
Yeah, it really would.
No question about it. Mm-hmm. And I think that is so important for people to realize because they just don't think about it from that perspective.
You see that, I think, more and more, the Jenks, the 10 district,
Yes.
which they've done a really good job getting businesses down there. There's some great restaurants down there.
A lot of great stuff coming.
I mean, there used to be nothing,
Yeah.
right? We've lived in Jenks for a long time, and you'd walk down Main Street and, you know, it was kind of antiques and that older feel. And now it's like with Cedar and Lily being an anchor there, and then you have Pure Kitchen and City Hall and all these great places.
Yes.
It's now a destination, you know, which is
fun.
really fun to see. And then you have a second location in Utica Square. So talk to me about that, deciding to create, you know, a second location when you were, you know, you guys weren't killing it.
No.
You just had opened.
Yeah.
Right? You were just starting.
Yes. It became pretty abundantly clear that Jenks is, you know, it's seasonal sometimes, right? It's really truly outdoor shopping venue. You're walking the streets and Utica Square is too, but it's still, I think that, I mean, Utica Square is an established destination that people go to, and there's a lot of retail around there, right? Jenks is still developing. Will it get there? Absolutely. Do I have faith in it? Absolutely. I love being in Jenks, but I knew that to be really successful, and I had a lot of inventory too, and I have all these lines I want to carry, and I want to be able to offer my customers a huge variety, and I needed 2 stores to do that. And so when this opportunity came in Utica Square, it wasn't the right timing, but you have to take the leap. It's like, it's not, you know, there's never the perfect time. It just happens, and you have to have the faith and take the risk and know if it's best for your business, then when it comes to you, you do it, right? If it's best for the business that you're in and you realize, okay, it may not be the right time, but can you make it work? Then you need to do it, because that was something that could be a closed door. It wasn't like, Christy, you've got 2 years, you can do this. It's not a great time, but you can come it. No, it was not like that. It was, if I didn't take it, the option would be gone. And it was a perfect location for exactly what I wanted, exactly the same size as my Jenks location. And not everything in Utica. There's some that are, you know, smaller, like 1,000 square feet. So it was perfect.
You're in a great corner, kind of by Rice Souffle next door. And I think, you know, the patio is my favorite part.
Yes.
I mean, you walk up and it's this comfortable, beautiful patio where people are just hanging out, you know, having a glass of wine.
Exactly.
And you know, go in and shop. It's just such it
sets the stage.
It does. It extends that community feel.
Yes. And the kitchen, you see the kitchen when you walk in, because it's this big open square, you see the kitchen as truly the heart of the home when you walk in the door. So you know immediately this place is different.
So let's take a different turn for a minute. Tell me, what's been the most difficult thing during this whole entrepreneurship journey?
Well,
it's like
there's
a laundry list.
Yeah, there is a laundry list. Well, it never stops, right?
Yeah. And let me just real quick, I say that because I feel like sometimes people think, wow, that was easy. Like she just went there. She had a Jenks location. She opened a Utica Square location. They're a $1 million business now. Amazing. But there's been some tough road.
It's never easy. Opening your own business is never, I'm just listening. I just started, I think I told you this, that book by Dave Maxwell. It's called How to Grow a Business You Love. And it's like you are working on it all the time. And the first chapter is like the 6 drivers of business. And the first one's personal. And it's like you have to understand every day that when you look in the mirror, the problem and the solution is you, right? So the buck stops with me. So I'm the problem and I'm the solution. And how many times do you think about in your business? It's like, you know, you are, you don't make the right decision, or you take a risk on something and it's a risk and it was the wrong decision, then you learn. But then sometimes, you know, we just got this new purse line at Booty Handbags, which is like, go grab your booty. I kind of love that. But BUTI, and they're out of Florence, Italy. And it was a risk, but it is amazing. And I mean, I literally sold 10 purses in 2 weeks, and they're high-end bags. And it was just like, they're beautiful. And so it's like, that was a great risk, but you are going to take risks, and they're not always going to work. It's not always going to be successful. And the inventory thing is hard. So you're guessing, you know, you go to the market. So the first time I went to market, so I didn't even have my lease signed at Jenks. So I am making phone calls. I didn't know how market worked, right? I'm like, I've decided I'm going to do this business. I decided that I think I'll have it open by March. Well, so I started calling around. I didn't even have any lines yet, right? So then I developed this little kind of like a little portfolio book talking about the vision of Jenks and how much traffic it has and why it was important and not a risk for designers to take a shot
you're
with me.
You're a small little boutique, so brands like Les Gens and Remy Brooke, they're looking going, I
had to fly to New York to get, because Les Gens wouldn't call me back. So I was like, I got on a plane and I went to New York and I went to their store and I said, okay, you got to give me a name of somebody. This is ridiculous. I've got money to spend. This is my cornerstone brand. I know I want it. Nobody else in town has it. I want it. Who can you get me in contact with? So as soon as you gave me like a couple of names, turned out to be one of them was like the vice president of the company. So I had like every person, I listed every person I found. I went online. I like had every single email. It went to all these higher ups. They're probably thinking, who is this chick
from Jenks?
Yes. And she's like, and she says, nobody's calling her back. Why isn't somebody calling her back? But it's just funny. You just have to be tenacious as all get out, which is where my sales background helped.
I was about to say, that's your sales.
Yes, that helped a lot. So then when I found out that market was in 2 weeks, so I called, and it was like if I was going to open in April 6th, and market 6 months ahead of time, okay? And so they're like, oh, the next market is right now. And so you've got 2 weeks to go.
You got to buy for 6 months from then.
Yeah. So I have to buy for the time the frame is going to be open. And I was freaking out. So I had to put something together and get a booklet together so I could go to market, start making some preliminary phone calls. I had no idea. I did not have a guidebook. I had not been in the design industry. So I had no idea how to reach out to these people, how to get the wholesale collective, none of that stuff. So I'm scrambling and I got a few appointments. I go to Dallas and it's like all these booths. But then you don't really think about, I didn't know how much inventory I needed for a 2,000 square foot space. I had no idea. Like, you don't think, okay, if you order X amount for this given month, you need to sell through a certain percentage of that. And then the next month, and you're always backfilling, right? You don't think about that. You're like, oh, if I buy it,
they'll come.
Yeah, it's really cute. If I buy it, then I'll have people come. It'll be great. It doesn't work that way, right? So you just have to learn the hard way. So inventory has been my biggest challenge, and understanding what the customer wants. I think I've done a pretty good job of bringing in things that the customer wants, but also there are things that you realize, yeah, I'm not going to sell that, and you're constantly making changes. But you still have to sell the inventory you've got so that you can bring something else in. So it's constant. And I don't think people realize that part of it. You know what I mean?
Well, you've done, from an outsider's perspective, you wouldn't notice any of that, right? You walk in, you've got an amazing array, like more than any boutique I've been in, you know, the different brands that you carry and just unique stuff. This is one of the jackets. I absolutely love your blazers. I have a Les Gens blazer like this that's red, but I think this one's Generation Love, but it's unique. Right? You don't see, I get more compliments when I'm wearing one of those brands because it's got the little sparkle in it. You know, I have it on with jeans, with these mother
jeans.
It's
so cute.
You know, so you can dress it up, dress it down. You know, so you just have some really great, unique pieces, and you've done a really good job of curating all of that. So,
and it's constant. You know, every season's different, and sometimes you have to, like the barrel jean. The barrel jean, I didn't really jump on that bandwagon. I'm kind of glad I didn't, because they thought it was going to be huge, and then the barrel jean was like this ginormous barrel in the beginning. Now they have a modified barrel, which is really, really cute. So they tweaked on the design side. I think we'll see a lot of that next spring, is that modified barrel that's a lot more flattering on a variety of different body types.
But I've tried to put those on, and I'm like, yeah, no.
I think you'll like the modified, but it's just an interesting journey. So you're constantly trying to decide what the market trend's going to be, and it's just, you're learning every single day. It's constant. It never changes.
What have you seen for spring coming out? Like, is there a hot color? Like, I feel like last year that butter yellow was everywhere.
Yeah, yellow is still really a popular color. And I think you're seeing there's geometric pattern as opposed to floral more. I mean, not that floral's non-existent, but you'll see more geometric patterns. You see a lot of sets. Sets are really hot again. you'll see that modified barrel and a denim, but you also, it's like all comers. There's wide leg, there's low rise, there's mid rise, high rise a little bit, not as much. I think that you've got the straight leg, you have the column. There's just a variety of different denim types. There's different colors. I think that in denim, everything goes right now. I read this really cool article online, and it was talking about what's hot with denim, and the comment was everything.
Right. And whatever you look good in. I think some people look good. You know, I've always liked the low rise. Like, I just like the way they fit. And I don't know, my body type or whatever. But then they're like, low rise is not in. It's high rise. And then it's back and forth, bell bottom, no. And I think, what are you comfortable in and what do you look good in?
Right. Exactly.
You know, your body type is not changing because of the trend. Right. So you kind of have to go with that as well.
And stripes are big. So I think it's really, I don't know, there's just a lot of, it'll be fun. Things are starting to come in now, believe it or not.
So tell me, how much of your business would you say is the brick and mortar versus the online? Because I know online, I think for boutiques, is still very important because you can sell this jacket to somebody in Alaska. Right.
Mm-hmm. It's building. You know, it's really funny because we've had some beginning. In the beginning, it was like trudging along, and then we saw a spike for a few months, and then we transitioned to Shopify and had some other challenges. And every time you change a system, every time you do something new, and even with the advent of AI, everything's changing and the rules and the dynamics change. And I think that affects your business. And Christmas was good online. I think it probably represents maybe 10 to 15% of our business. But it's growing, and we're going to continue working on it because it's important.
It is important, you know, and I think that having both is so important because a lot of boutiques are, gosh, we're just local. And, you know, I think if you didn't have that 10 to 15%, your bottom line wouldn't be what it is.
Right.
Today,
and everything we sell is online. Mm-hmm. So it's not like we just have a few select pieces. And it's not, a lot of times you'll see somebody will have a landing page basically, but it's not really an active website. And we are constantly changing. Every single thing that we sell is online. And we change the landing page and the pictures and the focus, and it's different. It's different. And it takes effort. I've got a really wonderful gal that does my website, Megan, and she's constantly learning too. And so we're always working with others. You've got to be when you're in your business, you've always got to be learning your business and learning about all of these different tools that can make your business better. And that never goes away.
I mean, technology is changing at light speed. Yes. So with AI, and what role does social media play in your business?
A lot. It's like the major, I mean, Savannah she's such a great creative, and she's just really good at it. And it is the major part of your marketing. I mean, that, and I think the different events and all of this nonprofit events stuff that we do, that's bringing more people in our doors and engaging us with more folks, and that helps. But the social media it's the way you notify people. It's the way they learn about what's going on. It's where people go to see what's new and different, or when do they have new drops coming in, and all of that information people are going to Facebook and Instagram for. Mm-hmm. So I don't really think that, like, I did radio and it wasn't as effective for me. I'm sure that for some people it's really effective, but for me it wasn't. And I think that it's really important to find out what works for you. And we're still exploring different things, but social media is really important.
Yes. And you guys do a great job. And your social media looks really good. So, okay, final question. What is your number one piece of advice for that woman out there that wants to maybe do something? I mean, you became an entrepreneur at age 50, right?
Yeah.
You were over 50. So it's like it's never too late to start.
No,
but
never.
What is your advice for that woman that's out there?
Well, I think that starting with a coach, because I think it's overwhelming unless you have a history in business and you're starting another business, right? If you're brand new, you've never started a business before, you've got to arm yourself with information. And I think that getting a coach or someone that you trust that's done it before, a mentor, is really important. That's number one. Mm-hmm. Number two, I think that you need to read. And I am an avid reader. I read all the time. Books on tapes, podcasts, every book you can get your hands on, highlight, write in the corners, journal. You've got to immerse yourself in it, and you have to decide that I'm going to be a lifelong learner in this space. I think you need to pray about it, and you got to decide, is this really right for me? And you've got to dig deep and understand, and you need to love what you do. You don't want to create a business that you don't love, because it's hard.
It is.
Right? It's really hard to do, and you want to love every minute of it. That's why I'm still doing Edwards, and I'm doing this, and I have an amazing team that helps manage my business when I'm doing Edwards, right? Because without Edwards, I could not do this business, and I love it. But if you're loving what you do, then it doesn't feel like work, because you're going to put in a lot of hours, but you don't regret it. I don't regret any of it. There are days, though, when I'm like, ugh, I just can't do it. I am so done. But the next day you wake up and you're like, okay, it's a brand new day. I feel better. It's just a bad day. But have grace with yourself. Forgive yourself and it's not a mistake. It's part of your journey, because if you don't make mistakes, you can't learn, because I think that's where you learn the most, right? And you're just going to continue on this journey, and you're going to learn a little bit, and surround yourself with people that know things you don't. You cannot be the resident expert on every single thing in your business. I know stiddly jack shitsky about doing a website, right? And I don't know anything about online, and I don't know anything about social media. But I found people that were really good at it. And so Dory and I are creating this team together, and it's just been, there's certain things. I do know sales, I'm a visionary. I'm a big picture girl. I've done a lot with philanthropy. I mean, there's certain things that I'm good at, and you stay in your lane. You keep learning and growing, and you get better at these other things, but you need people around you that know things you don't.
Yeah, that's beautifully said. So true. So whatever your X factor is, your genius is, you stay in your genius, and then you hire for the rest.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's great. So, well, it's been an honor to have you on. It's been an honor to work with you.
Thank you.
Can't wait to just see you explode over the years and kind of see what's next.
Thanks. So. I love it.
Thank you for listening to the Do It My Way podcast. If you're wanting to build a personal brand, but you aren't sure where to start, I want you to book a discovery call with me at deidredetterman.com. I hope you are empowered today to do business on your terms with no regrets, hesitation, or fear. Again, head over to deidredetterman.com and click on Get a Quote.